How we doing, everybody? We're gonna here to talk about some comics. Are they gonna make good movies, good TV shows out of any of these? Let's find out. Just FYI, I am an award-winning writer and producer and line producer and UPM, and I recently moved to Atlanta from Los Angeles because there's more production going on here than there. Of course, there's no production going on anywhere right now because my timing sucks. We have two strikes going on right now, the writers and the actors, so there's nothing going on. Waiting for my pod, which is why you see absolutely nothing on the walls. So yeah, I have no furniture, no nothing. I'm literally on a little table, which is why there's no bumpers for this video. I'm waiting for all of my stuff to come in, and you can see that I have no headroom for the framing at all right now because I'm literally doing this ultra low budget till my other stuff comes in. All right, so let's find out if these things would make good movies or not. And so we'll start with Hawkgirl, a #1 of 6. This one here is everything wrong with comics and movies out today. It is not about the character at all. It is about a self-insert of the actual writer. So the writer wants to signal for LGBTQ all across the board, and that's what this whole thing is about. It's not about the character or her relationship with Hawkman, if anybody knows the story. So they constantly are reincarnated throughout all of time, and they're always together, but not anymore because now Kendra's going to be gay. Of course, one thing is the artwork is not bad, and I love Hawkgirl. It's unfortunate that it's taken the direction it is, because it really makes no sense. So for the character, and of course, she has to have lunch with a half-shaved, tattooed lesbian, and we have Black Lives Matter. Any kind of buzzword you can think of for today's politics is in here, and then we have a new character. So this is by I forgot Alexander. Jadzia Alexander Axelrod. Sorry, Jadzia Axelrod. That's not her real name because she took it from Star Trek. Jadzia Dax. And we have this new character in here, Galaxy, and of course we have to have LGBTQ again. And basically we have two of them in the same issue. We have no other relationships in the entire issue besides LGBTQ. So this is a self-insert deal, and she crashes into the thing, and Galaxy is going to save her or whatever. This is garbage. This is complete garbage. It's not a superhero book at all. It's a slice of life book for LGBTQ, and it's got a very, very narrow niche audience, and I'm not one of them. So I won't be collecting that anymore. Will it make a good movie? No. Superheroes don't make good LGBTQ slice of life films or television shows. That's a whole other thing. So, yes, that's the last you'll be seeing of Hawkgirl. All right, so then we have Night Terror Shazam. I just picked up the second issue, but I haven't reviewed this one yet. And this whole Night Terrors thing is really just a waste of time. And why DC decided that they were going to just stop all of their other books and say, we're going to do this in the month of August, because August is just as good as October for doing anything scary. I'm not sure about that. So they shut down all of their books to do these Night Terrors thing, which really isn't working. It's just not working. And in here we have, her going in and out of REM sleep, and we have Billy taking on the mantle of Black Adam, and he kills Freddy. I don't know, man. It's just plain weird. So where's that? I was going to show you the page where Yeah, right here. So Billy is Black Adam, and he says Shazam and kills Freddy, and then he goes up to her, and of course it's this. We're in a nightmare world, I guess, because it's kind of like Freddy Krueger, where if you die, and then he walks up to her, and she's prone there, and he says Shazam to her, so you think he's going to fry her as well. So that's another waste of time. Another waste of time. No movie, no television show. Don't even bother. And the funny part is it's by Mark Waid, who also wrote World's Finest. So this is Batman Superman World's Finest. This is the end of the arc with Ultramazo and all the. That's why you see all of the different robot android / everything else, because they've been taken over by the Ultramazo character and Dr. Ivo and all the rest. And if you know anything about Amazo, he basically copies any character's powers and then can use them. So he can take basically all the Justice League powers and then use them against them. So Batman realizes, and I kind of knew it was coming, because he says, "Oh, there was something about what he said about the past," and I'm like, "Okay, that's obviously where they're going." But somehow, and this is where I don't get it, they get the other Amazo to come in from the past. I don't know how they did it. So that either I missed it or they just didn't tell us. But it was very smart, because he brings him in, I guess reprograms Amazo to fight Ultramazo. So they're basically taking energy from one another back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They create a loop, and they eventually explode. And then at the end, Metamorpho, who this whole thing was based on, comes in and does the finishing blow and finishes off Amazo. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, even the art on that is pretty good. So a lot of energy on that one. Yeah, I think that this book would actually, this series would make a really good movie. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Batman and Superman teaming up again? Because they really didn't do it much in Batman v Superman. I think that was a bad move on Snyder's part for how he handled all that. But I'd love to see those characters together, where they're more in line with the comics and not as dark. So yeah, I go for that one. So that would be 1 out of 3. And we've been hearing about the Blade movie forever, and we finally got a new Blade comic. So this is my first Marvel book. That was all I had for DC. And this was actually really good. I was worried that they were going to take it into an odd place, and but they didn't. They didn't take it into any kind of woke stuff or anything like that. He gets hired to go save a girl, and ends up, after he finds the girl and does save her, she ends up being a supernatural being. He ends up chopping her head off, and doesn't faze her in the least. So he ends up being captured, and they're torturing him at the end. He's got like arrows in him and stuff to that effect. And this I'm waiting to see what happens. This is only issue 1, so I'm waiting. I know there's no issue number on it, but I'm waiting to see what happens with it. This is a really good Blade book. So I can't really tell if it's going to make a good movie or not, but so far I'm in. I have not seen a good Blade book in a long time, so I'm in with this one. This one's really good. Okay, and talk about a movie made into a comic that would it make a good movie in the future? And the answer for this one is no. This one has not been very good. So now the mother, so it was a family in like a little Arctic thing. Now there's aliens all over the place. And the mother was pregnant, and then she reveals that she put DNA of the alien that she found in her, so she's really pregnant, not with the human. So the birth ends up killing her, and the daughter puts the the embryo or whatever, the fetus, into like a tube. And as they're trying to leave, there's the army guys are all getting killed, and of course they always do. Might as well put red shirts on them. So then we find out that the one-armed guy is actually a robot. He's an android. Why would the android be one-armed? Why couldn't he just build another arm for himself? I'm really, really confused about that. So we have, this white alien confronts her, and or we call it a xenomorph, I guess. And then there's the one-armed guy comes in to help her, and we find out in the last thing that he is an android. So, over here. Oops, wrong one. And I don't understand why the one-armed guy would be an android. I don't know. But this one has not been good. I would say no on that alien movie being turned back into a comic, being turned into a movie. No. All right, then we have Avengers, another Marvel book. This is City Slayers. This is the Carol Danvers-led group. Not liking this. So there's a whole bunch of aliens, and they're all individually fighting these, 6 different aliens, and they're called City Slayers, which is you see on the bottom there. So they all have their individual battles. It's kind of, the artwork's decent, but it's kind of boring. Look at this creature design, the owl thing. Oops, wrong way. Look at that, and that looks stupid. And it was good to see, Wanda kicking butt, though. I'm a big fan of Scarlet Witch. That's pretty good. So it had its highs and lows, mostly lows. And then I don't understand. So this is Jed McKay. So you have Captain Marvel on the planet. Right and left, dude. So she's on the planet here, right? And on this side. But you'll see why I'm referring to this in a second. So she's leading this thing, and she decided to stay on Earth, but Black Panther and Falcon Cap go into space? What? Why would she? I don't know how they even got up there. Why would you send the street level guys to go fight the mothership in space? I don't know what you're doing, Jed McKay. I just got the new issue, so no high hopes there. I'm waiting for the next arc to come in, because this arc's been bad. All right, so now we have the Hulk. So this is kind of a small town thing that's been overrun by zombies. And we have a young girl who was being attacked by her father. Side of her face is burned. So she kind of wants to get away. And she ends up running into Bruce Banner, who's got long hair. And, he just wants to be left alone. And obviously that's not happening. The Hulk is, tormenting him from seeing, whenever he sees like a reflection of himself, he doesn't see a reflection of himself, he sees a reflection of the Hulk. And that's how he's tormenting him. So he's tormenting him in his own mind. He's like, let me out, you're too puny, blah, blah, blah. And so at the end, they get captured to be sacrificed. And Bruce Banner is stabbed, which is pretty nasty. And see if I can show you the pic, because it's pretty cool. So he's stabbed in the chest, and the girl is like smiling because she knows that he's going to turn before he dies. And then we get this really great image. If I can ever remember what right and left is, of the Hulk coming out. So this has been pretty good. This is like a horror type of book because we have that kind of small town horror feel to it. So this has been pretty good. I would actually like to see this as a TV show or a film. I don't know if it would make a good film because it's not epic enough, but TV show, yeah, yeah, it's been pretty good. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson, I think, yeah. All right, so then we have this one from the Avengers. We had a thing, I probably was the beginning where it was they couldn't remember what they were doing. They were always in these battles, and we found out at the end that the Beyonder was messing with them. And then we went into this Avengers Beyond for another 5 issues where the Beyonder went. We found out that he was being hunted by another Beyonder that he stole the powers from. So all the other Beyonders stole the powers from this other major Beyonder, and he tried to seal this main guy, this main baddie on Earth with the Avengers as he was trying to escape. It didn't work. So he ended up going to Earth as well, and then the other guy stole his powers, and I think he just eliminated him completely. So the Avengers are all trying to kill him at once, and they don't even break. They break their bones type of thing and don't do anything to him. They don't even break a fingernail. So yeah, this guy is way too powerful, and even with them all ganging up on him, so they resign to the fact that they just let him go, and he just says that he takes his powers back and basically leaves. So again, it's not very. It's kind of anticlimactic. After all these things that have been happening, it's anticlimactic. I really like the artwork on Greg Land's stuff. I know a lot of people don't like his stuff, but I do. I like his stuff a lot. I know that a lot of he over exaggerates some of the. I got to show you some of this stuff. It's the original Iron Man. I love She-Hulk. There's a really good She-Hulk in there, and he over. Look at this Captain America. This. If anything, it was worth it just getting it for the art. I know a lot of people don't like him though. I know he over exaggerates some of the expressions and stuff, but other than that, I really like his stuff. So that was the main reason I got this. But yeah, he almost looks. The design is almost like Galactus by the time he gets going, and. He did a lot of the Marvel zombie stuff too. But yeah, they just take off and leave, and that's the end of that. So anticlimactic. So, because it's obvious that the artwork's the only thing good in there. So nope, that would be a big fat nope on a film or television show. All right, so then we go into Red Sonja. We got a brand new arc here. The actual artwork, because the artwork on Red Sonja is always hit or miss. Look at that cover. The cover's great. And but the artwork now is pretty good, and I got to say that the storylines so far pretty good. She finds out that she has a price on her head, so she goes to one of the bishops to find out what's going on, and she had nothing to do with the death of one of these women, and they let her right in because she thinks she's a hooker. They think she's a prostitute, so they let her right into the castle, into the bishop's chambers, and he's coming out all in his robe, and he's like, "Oh, come on," because he knows exactly who she is, and she's like, "Oh, you naughty boy," kind of thing. So he's like, "Look, you just need, whether I pardon you or not, you just need to leave town," and then she gets into a brawl, but there's another bishop in this other town that has like mind control or something like that. And she gets into this brawl, and suddenly, she wasn't even part of it. They were brawling and thing, and she was just having fun messing with it, kicking some guys out of the way. And then suddenly the whole tavern turns on her. So that's where it ends. So yeah, it's been pretty good. We got, some. Look at that face, The mischievous face on her is how I always imagined her. Where she just likes having fun. When she's in the brawls going on and she's just kicking people haphazardly and stuff like that. Meanwhile, she's getting hit on by a bard and stuff like that, and then suddenly they all turn on her. So that's where it ends. So liking it so far. I can't tell yet if it would make a good film or television show, but I can tell you that the character is there, and the character is fun, and that's what some of the writers miss is that Red Sonja is just a fun character. But they only made one movie for Red Sonja, and Bridget, whatever, Stallone's old ex-wife. And I would love to see an updated one. I think they were casting somebody, and it just didn't match her at all. I think they were trying to use the girl that played Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I don't think that's really her. She's supposed to be tall and stuff. So let's get right into continuing the Independence. So Day of Blood is a new Star Trek book where Kahless, I guess, is reincarnated. Kahless is like the head guy for the Klingons, and Worf's son is part of his group, and there's a whole bunch of attacks going on because he's trying to reunite the Klingon Empire, and so we have the different ships that are involved for the Federation, and I guess Paris and B'Elanna have a kid together, and she's like, you need to be spending time with your kid, and he doesn't even ask about the kid. I don't know. I think she was right in this case because he sounded like a deadbeat dad to me. So Worf and Cisco are together, and then you have Lore and Data that are sparring together verbally. It's okay. It's spinning off into other things, into other issues. I don't think I'll be, especially when, and I got to show this to you, especially for people that are Star Trek fans. I am not a fan of, first of all, you have writers like Christopher Cantwell, and then Colin Kelly. You could, and Christopher Lance. You can't get worse writers. This is not bad, but especially with these writers are just not good. Let me see here. Right here. So you have a Vulcan with they, them pronouns. Come on, man. Come on. So the idea is good. I don't think it's really well executed. The they, them thing just throws me off completely because that's not Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. You're trying to push today's politics into a futuristic, item that they wouldn't care. So I would say no on that one. I'm not going to be really pushing forward with it at all. The idea is good. I like the return of Kahless and having the Klingons be the bad guys again, and so stuff with Worf is pretty decent, but I think it's just a bloated thing that they're just kind of trying to extend. All right, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Mark Millar's big game. So he has all of his different Mark Millar things. So he's kind of combining them all together into one universe. So Mark Millar is the one that did the Kingsman. I have not seen the Kingsman in this, but he's the one who did the Kingsman, and he has a deal with Netflix. So I guess he is trying to create this universe so that he can move it into a series, which is what I expect to happen. So this might be a very well, So he's got the ambassadors in here, which is like they give powers to people, and one from each country. And I didn't continue with that one. I really didn't like the first issue. I thought it was kind of lame. I know a lot of people liked it though. But what they have in here is Kick-Ass asks to have power, so he goes to the ambassadors because again he did Kick-Ass also. They go to, he says, hey, can I have powers? I'm already kind of a superhero. Can I have powers? And the main guy on here, which I don't see, he's from Wanted. He also did Wanted. So this guy has already done so much in the visual medium of film and television that I can't imagine them not picking some of these things up. And then you have Nemesis, which is the guy in the white behind him. So this is kind of the setup for everything. There's not a whole lot of action in here. There's the setup. They find this whole pit of dead people, and I guess there's a whole bad guy regime getting together, and I guess they kind of hit one of the ambassadors, and they recruit Nemesis. So it's a whole big setup right now. But yeah, this could be a really good series if they set something like this up with like set up Kick-Ass again and stuff like that, and then bring it all together. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, dude. So then we have Void Rivals. I wasn't really going to push forward. This is the one that's kind of like Enemy Mine, with two aliens that crash on the same thing. But the first issue revealed that they got the rights for Transformers and G.I. Joe. So there was a Transformer on the planet, and the planet, they went and said, oh, look, it's a plane. We crashed, but look, there's a thing we can get off. And they went, boom, and it transformed and flew away. Didn't ask them if they needed any help, nothing. Just see you later. Oh, do you have your Uber app? Oh, you don't buy. Whatever, man. So I continue with it. I thought this one was better than the last one. So we go back and we see some more of the history behind these two guys. It's a guy and a girl, and they take off their helmets and they realize they're really the same species, except they have a gem in their head that is different. That's really the only thing. But they've been told for generations that each one of their races were evil and everything else, and I guess they're running out of water, so they both went after this, I guess, chunk of ice in a comet or whatever else that obviously was composed of water. They were both going after it, and they got into a dog fight, and they both wounded each other, and they crashed, and now they're trying to get off because they're the only things that can help each other is each other. And she's feeling very, look, I'm treasonous. I'm helping you instead of killing you, and I'm already, being treasonous to my race by helping you. And they decide that they're going to couple two of these little things together and be able to get off the planet. And they do, and it's like, one of these flume ride kind of thing. So they're both just together. He's between her legs, so she's, so that's how close they are together. And they end up going to getting sucked up into another ship. And the alien there is not friendly in the least. So this is what they end up running into, and that's where it ends. So I thought they were just going to be stuck on the planet the whole time. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to continue this. It's really just going to be banter between them trying to get off the planet. But the second issue, they're already off the planet and into other problems. So I like this a lot. The second issue propelled it for me. I would think that would be a good movie, especially where I could see where it's going to go. It's going to go, it's kind of like Dune kind of thing where you have two enemy species, any races, kind of working together. So I like that. It's kind of good. Then I got this one. This is from a Kickstarter, Astro Witch. So it's about the 7 deadly sins, and she's one of the deadly sins, and she breaks off from them, and I guess kind of goes into. I was confused by all this because we have this other girl, and all we have is sex scenes with her. But I think that she's connected to this human in some way. I don't know if she was possessed the body. And they're now the other 6 deadly sins are going after that person because they are trying to get the other 7th deadly sin back to their side. I don't know. It's kind of very confusing, and it looks like, and I'm going to show you sex scenes. It's all it is just kind of sex scenes. And and here's, she looks down at the guy she's having sex with, and, he turns into one of the seven deadly sins, and whatever. And then she goes, the other Astro Witch comes, I don't know which one she is. But yeah, I mean, some of the artwork is pretty decent, but overall, it's not very good. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I did that. It's sorry, a half hour long, but and I have another 12 issues I haven't read yet, or I haven't reviewed yet that I've read on the road. But anyway, that's it for me, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. So yeah, Board Rivals, Red Sonja, the Hulk, and Blade. Those are the ones that would be good. And Hawkgirl was the worst of the ones I read this week. I don't know when they're going to learn to write superhero comics instead of slice of life, but I can't see that thing selling. All right, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did watch all the way through, and remember to like and subscribe. As I said, I am trying to grow my channel, and so try to watch my videos all the way through because I need as many hours as I can get. All right, thank you again, and yeah, I should have some stuff set up tomorrow. So I'll be able to actually come out of my office and there'll be stuff on the walls. All right, thanks a lot, guys. All right, bye-bye.